All right, we've got New York Post columnist Michael Goodwin joining us. He is the author of that great piece. What I love about Michael is he can synthesize it in a way, whether you're on the left or right, whether you're Republican or Democrat, and get the big picture right, the feel of the real issues without weighing down with tax revenues, yield this, whatever. And your basic point, and it's always good to see you, my friend, is that if you're going to be, pushing the Democratic view and you're against these tax cuts and you're framing it in a way, you're preaching to a wrong choir here in the state of New York, we're using the example, where people are benefiting from it.
Right. Thank you, Neil. Look, in New York State overall, more than 80% of taxpayers will get a tax cut because of the new federal tax law. And yet the governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, has been out there calling the tax law a missile, a dagger aimed at the heart of New York. Now, how do you explain that? More than 80% of your constituents are getting a tax cut, and you say it's no good.
Yeah.
I mean, that just defies common sense.
Now, part of his rationale, I'm thinking, and you hear it from a lot of people who live in this high-tax state, and particularly in the city in which you and I are chatting, that you can't write out nearly as much, so you are going to be kind of gouged, you say?
Well, look, 20% will pay the same or more.
Right.
And most of those, almost all of them, is because of the limit of state and local tax deductions of $10,000 now. But as some people have pointed out, the alternative minimum tax effectively wiped out a lot of those deductions anyway, because some of those same people were subject to it. That also has been changed dramatically under the new law. So I think that we may see in the end of the day a lot more than 80% will actually pay less. And if the state had followed the federal government, had followed really what is the international trend now of trying to attract businesses by cutting taxes and regulations,
then going on in Texas.
Yeah, then 100% would have had a tax cut. But the state went the other way and said, we're gonna attack the Trump administration. We're going to try to roll back this idea.
Well, that's the problem, right? I mean, and you and I can argue. I have serious problems with some aspects of the tax cut and what have you.
Sure.
I understand how it had to be cobbled together, why you had to phase out certain individual tax rates because of the budgetary math and getting through the Senate, et cetera. I understand that. Having said all of that, though, I think it's a very tough argument for Democrats to make. Then we're going to rescind it all, start from scratch. You tell that to a lot of people all of a sudden seeing whether it's a little or a lot more take-home pay. That ain't going to fly.
Well, and you also have to credit the economic boom with a big part of it. I mean, certainly a lot of the run-up in the stock market was predicated on the belief this would happen. It has happened. We've seen corporate profits rising, incomes rising. Now you're seeing the unemployment rate, again, in New York City, more than 4 million jobs, a record. Unemployment rate in the city of 4.3%, a historic low. I mean, this is a shared prosperity now, and so to argue against that, I think, is political suicide in most precincts of the country.
But yet you're presumably among the leading names for the Democratic presidential nomination. Bernie Sanders last night in Colbert, where he tipped his hand to say that most people are socialists. They like socialism. Elizabeth Warren kind of agrees with that. Is it your sense that they're in a vacuum, or that they're hitting a nerve, or something, that people are getting ticked off? They don't like the trend. I tend to think by playing the class warfare game, it's never worked.
Well, if people like socialism, look at Venezuela, right? I mean, why are people trying to get out of that country? But look, I think a lot of this is just anti-Trump. I think a lot of the Democratic message is fundamentally, we hate Donald Trump. Whatever he's for, we're against. And
so could Bill Clinton even do what he did? He cut taxes. He did raise the top rate, but he cut most investment and business-related taxes. They love that. I don't know if a Democrat like that could succeed in his party today.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think that the Democratic Party now has made a sharp left turn. There's a battle within the party to see who's going to control it, but even those who are considered moderates are certainly trending left. I mean, again, Andrew Cuomo in New York is facing a challenger, Cynthia Nixon, from the far left. She's one of those progressive leaders now in this movement.
And that's the loud, focused, angry part of the party.
And it's driving him swing to the left, even though he is trying to resist by trying to be a bit more centrist than her, but only a bit. So it's having a big impact on the entire party.
Real quickly, if Donald Trump and all the personal tweeting and other baggage weren't there, how well do you think he'd be doing?
Look, I think sometimes it serves him well because I think it does allow him to get his message out clearly. On the other hand, there are times, I think, when it gets in the way of his policy. And I think it's the policy that will get you elected, not the tweets, but the policy. And so when the tweets interfere with the public's ability to understand the policy, then I think you've hurt yourself.
This is why you have a Pulitzer Prize. All right. And why I have a 4A chair. Fair prize. But it worked. I was able to identify all the counts.